Okay, so it looks like this is Nicole again. It looks like we are recording and we are live on YouTube, and Chairman Horton is coming in from the waiting room right now.
Okay. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Oh,
All right. I have 4 o'clock. Let's begin the Isabella County Board of Commissioners work session electronic meeting of May 4th, 2021. We could please stand for the call to order, Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of
of the
America,
United States of America,
and
to the republic for which it stands,
indivisible,
one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
I have to apologize to everyone for being exactly at 4 o'clock today, but my little remote thingy here, I think, has gone haywire. So I'm on 5G home network. Hopefully we can get through this. Okay, who do I have today? Clerk Lux. Hello, how are you?
Oh, I'm great.
Thank you. If you could please call the roll, please.
Commissioner Hutchinson,
Present, reporting remotely from my home in Nottawa Township, Isabella County.
Commissioner Engler,
Here, and I'm reporting from my home in Deerfield Township, Isabella County, Michigan.
Commissioner Jelzinski, Commissioner Horton,
I am present. I am reporting from my home in Union Township, Mount Pleasant, Michigan, Isabella County.
Commissioner Marino,
Here, reporting from my home in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, Isabella County, electronically.
Commissioner Swaney,
Here, attending remotely from my home, Mount Pleasant, Michigan, Isabella County.
Commissioner Hope.
Here, attending remotely from my home in the city of Mount Pleasant, Isabella County, Michigan.
All present, Mr. Chairman, except for Commissioner Jelzinski.
Yes, Commissioner Jelzinski is excused. He has a personal matter he has to attend to, possibly for this work session for sure, and possibly this evening's general session. Next up, approval of the agenda. Under general public comments, we have nothing. Obviously, presentations and special reports, we have nothing listed. No appointments to boards and commissions. That brings us to committee reports. Finance and Administration Committee of one today.
Finance Administration is all set, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Next up, Criminal Justice County Affairs. We have no business under them. Moving on now to Human Resources and Public Works Committee.
Human Resources and Public Works Committee is all set, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Vice Chairman Hope, I see nothing under Intergovernmental Affairs. Is that correct?
That is correct, sir.
All right, nothing under the Administrator Controller reports. We have nothing under unfinished business, nothing under new business. Again, we'll have general public comments, then we'll follow by announcements, and then we will adjourn. Can I get a motion in support for approval of this agenda, please?
Support Marino.
Support, or second, Hutchinson.
We have a motion in support for the approval of the agenda. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, the same. We have an agenda. Next up, general public comments. I'm assuming I see Nicole there. Nicole, do we have anybody under general public comments? Anybody on the line?
we do not at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Well, they don't know what they're missing. So we'll just wait a few minutes and seconds and we'll go from there. So. Okay, I will close the general public comment portion of this work session and move on to presentations and special reports, which we do not have any. We have nothing under appointments to boards and commissions, which brings us up to committee reports. Finance and Administration Committee, Vice Chairman Hope.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Up first, routine personnel items, new format, and process update. And after much conversation and considerations in the Finance Administration Committee over the routine personnel item form that we used to announce at the work session, and then it would go on the consent agenda. We kind of were uncomfortable announcing publicly resignations. We didn't feel that was really necessary. And also step increases. I mean, the county's just fulfilling its obligation to those employees when they get those step increases. Those are contractual. So we didn't see the point in making an announcement out of those. On the other hand, we did feel it would still be nice to congratulate retirees with their date of service and welcome new hires. And the administrator controller will do that in her report. Welcome the new hires and announce the retirees. The personnel report that you used to see will be emailed. So the commissioners will still have that information. It just won't be part of the agenda for the Finance Administration Committee or for the regular sessions. Margaret, is there something I
Yes.
missed?
No, sir. I would like to, Nicole has the new form that we're going to share her screen so people can see what the new format is going to look like. Again, this appears to, by all estimates that I can tell, to have been an internal that started originally with the other format from the previous administrator controller offices. So this is what it's going to look like moving forward. It will be a personnel activity report. You will get it emailed to you every payroll. So at the end of payroll, you'll be getting this email to you from Emma Newport, I'm sorry, I just kind of blanked out for the payroll and benefits administrator. Sorry about that, Emma. So if you'll scroll down, Nicole, so we can see that you'll have new hires with the name and the date. So if any of those folks are your constituents or people you know and you want to congratulate them, that would be a great opportunity for you to do it. Below that are retirements. And again, it's going to be the name, the date, what department and how many years of service. So again, if you would like to contact them, or if they're your neighbors or your friends, children, or your constituents, you can congratulate them. And then we will, under resignations, list effective date and a department and title. The Finance Committee has been chatting about this, Nicole. The Finance Committee has been chatting about this off and on the last couple months, and we tabled it until Commissioner Hope was able to participate in the discussion. Nicole, I could take this down now. Thank you. And so my concern was that there was information on this other form that was being publicly disseminated that really is not something everybody needs to know. So, you know, some resignations are negotiated resignations. And sometimes, just out of curiosity, people will say, well, you know, why did Susie Smith resign? And then it kind of puts me in a position of saying I'm not comfortable sharing that in this format. And then it just looks, it's just not what we want. So I think that hopefully the new format will meet the needs of the commissioners to keep you informed and also let you be able to tell any of your constituents congratulations or welcome aboard, whether they're a new hire or a retirement. And other than that, I think it's a better way for us to go, and it's what I recommended. And we did do some massaging of that at the Finance Committee that Commissioner Hope and Commissioner Jalzensky and Commissioner Horton were part of. So we will start using that as of next week. Next week will include also any new hires or retirements or resignations from what you would have gotten in your packet this time. So we'll start using that starting at the next payroll.
Yep. We put this on as a discussion item to kind of see how the other commissioners felt about this change. I don't know if you have any questions or comments on it.
No, I think, you know, I agree. I mean, this is something that kind of cleans it up and gives us what we need, and all for it.
Thank you, Commissioner Hutchinson. Anyone else have any comments? Okay, hearing nothing, we'll move on to item number 2, which is consider ratifying and placing on file the April 16th, 2021 invoice list in the amount of $238,755.51 the April 23rd, 2021 invoice list in the amount of $339,606.51 in the adjustment list dated April 29th, 2021. So taking the first list from April 16th, we have our payment for hats, our biweekly animal control contract payment, Preston Community Service, which does our monthly equalization contract. And then you can see numerous payments for engineering on drains. And then a payment for business information systems for our annual data processing services contract. And another payment to BIS for annual data processing services contract, same payment twice, I guess. And then McBride Quality Care, our $38,000 monthly day treatment contract, which covers that list. Moving on to April 23rd, we have our consumer's energy payment for the admin building and grounds, $5,472. Restitution payment from the clerk's office of $37,000, and then several payments, Isabella Bank debt payments for drains again. So all about the drains right now. Moving on to the adjustment list. April 16th, we have the Garden Food Service early payment discounts. One invoice was decreased due to sales tax mistakenly being added and then removed. An invoice voided because it was already paid, it was caught, and another payment to Consumers Energy to avoid a late fee there. The April 23rd list, we also have the Gordon Food Service early payment discounts and Isabella Bank invoice added to avoid a bank late fee. So any questions on any of the two invoice lists or the adjustment lists? Any questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to item number 3. This is a budget amendment, and basically in February, the board voted to issue bonds for the Isabella County Sheriff's Office and Correctional Facility project, and that amendment language allowed for repayment of payments that were made in advance for architectural services on that project, which would be reimbursed once bonds were issued. The issuance of bonds was slowed up when we decided to pursue other property. So we're a little behind on the bond issuance and therefore can't reimburse those costs yet from bonds. The notice of intent was February 7th. So we went through the 45-day referendum period. Everything's, I think, is all set to go on it. We just are held up because we switched properties that we were looking at. The amendment will reimburse those general fund payments that came out. It includes anticipated project costs through the year of $1,819,796. And The budget amendment would also include use of general fund balance to cover two other unbudgeted expenditures. One was our annual expenditure for liability and property insurance premium, where we had an unexpected increase, quite a large increase. And then the county's annual portion of the drain at large assessment, where we also had a large unanticipated increase in those two items. So the amendment makes up for those at $61,803 for the liability and property insurance. And then another 85,000 and some odd dollars for the drain work, the county's drain at large assessment, for a total of $1,967,074.14. So the amount coming back once we are able to issue those bonds will be just a little less than that, be $1,819,796 to restore the general fund for payments made for that sheriff's office and correctional facility project. Margaret, I'm sure there's something you can add to that. I don't know.
No, you did a great job. I was just going to make sure about you covered it all about the $1,819,796 coming back to the general fund balance. So it's a budgeting issue. The other two figures weren't known at the time of budgeting, so we need to cover those and the ongoing expense regarding so far for the sheriff and correctional facility will all be reimbursed to the general fund when we do sell those bonds.
Okay. Commissioner Engler.
Yeah, was that 61,000, was that an increase or just something we were waiting for it to be processed?
The $61,000 from MMRMA.
Yeah, from the liability insurance.
It's an increase based on some lawsuits that we have, and I'm putting together a presentation that I'll be coming back to the board in the near future, and we'll go into a closed session and discuss, kind of give you an idea of where we stand on all of those. Well, not all of those. I want to take that word all back on those. So
Yeah,
I'll give you
I
an
just,
update.
okay. I know.
Any other questions? Commissioner Horton.
Real quick, I believe also too, with the drains at large, is that with the assessments, the county will eventually get those money back when the assessments are obtained. Is that a correct statement?
No, I believe I did make that statement at the
County.
finance committee, but that was an incorrect statement. If
Okay.
it's the county at large, no, those will not be reimbursed to us. It's the county's portion.
Okay, yep, that's right, correct. Okay, it does say at large, I'm sorry.
No,
I missed
but I also misspoke at the finance committee, so.
You did, you actually cleared that up now that I kicked
Oh,
it
okay.
back in. Yeah, it's one of those, it's one of those instantaneous, hey, you said that, oh yeah, you did say that. So sorry about that. I asked the same question twice, I think. So I apologize for taking up time.
No problem.
Anything else? Any questions on that? Okay, hearing none, that item will move forward to tonight's agenda and we'll move on to item number 4, which is consider adopting Isabella County Board of Commissioners Resolution 21-5-3, resolution in support of the state of Michigan to fulfill its statutory obligations with regard to state revenue sharing payment amounts and authorize the board chair to sign the same. So I kind of struggled with how I was going to summarize all this, but to make a long story short, I guess over the years, there's been several changes made to the formula for state revenue sharing to the counties. bottom line is MAC has identified $844,161 cut in base funding from revenue sharing payments to Isabella County. And those are illustrated on that graph in the end of your report. You can see that in 2010, that line for revenue sharing kind of fell off a cliff. And then was partially restored in 2012. And then in 2015, restored back to the 2009 level, where it's increased just slightly over the next more than a decade. So there's a big loss in revenue there. We're asking the state to make the counties whole that lost money through that whole deal. So I don't know if anybody has any questions or comments, or Margaret, do you want to add anything to that?
Well, I would just say for those of you who have listened to my budget presentation over the years, this is a graph I always have in your presentation, if you remember, because as Commissioner Hope said, counties did fall off the cliff back in the day. Cities didn't fall off that cliff, and other townships didn't fall. Counties fell off the cliff. And revenue sharing was continued with those other entities, but counties took the hit. And so I would just draw your attention to, we estimate that we lost about $1.1 million, and MAC is looking at about the 880,000. I think at this point, and you can also notice, as Commissioner Hope said, when we started back on the track, they're still, if you look at where we were back in 2007, we not only lost that either 800 and some thousand or 1.1 million, we haven't really gone up much since then, even when they restored our revenue sharing. So this is an opportunity, hopefully. We're certainly not going to count on it, but certainly an opportunity for Michigan Association of Counties to take a position with the legislation that now is the time to make counties whole. And let's get us back what we've lost, at least close to what we've lost, and put us back on the right path with other municipalities that never lost that money.
Okay. Any questions on that or comments? Okay, I don't see anybody's hand raised, so that item will move forward to tonight's agenda. And Mr. Chairman, that completes the work of the Finance and Administration Committee.
Thank you. Next up, Criminal Justice and County Affairs Committee, which we have no business, so we move on to item C, Human Resources and Public Works Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Item 1 is consider adopting Isabella County Board of Commissioners Resolution number 21-05-01, adoption of PA 192 of 1953 to maintain a County Department of Veteran Affairs and authorize the board chair to sign the same. Ian, could you take this, please, and explain why this is happening after all this time when we had it all along?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Mr. Moreno. We're not actually creating an office, as it says maintain. We did make those corrections per your request, Mr. Horton, which was a better idea. What we're really doing for the other commissioners that weren't obviously at the HR meeting is it's more of a housekeeping measure. We've already been operating under the law back in, I think it was 2018 or something like that, when the state of Michigan came out with the Michigan Veterans Affairs grant. There was some fear, because that grant is actually under Public Act 192, that we were going to those counties not under Public Act 192 would not be eligible for the grant. So we kind of scrambled to make sure that we were okay. It turned out to be a nothing burger, because that wasn't a requirement. But in the meantime, we had found out that there was never a formal resolution actually passed. So we're basically doing that now. To give you a brief history, essentially in 1899, the state of Michigan passed the Soldiers Relief Act. In 1911, they passed the County Burial, which was separate. They're two separate entities. And then in 1953, they passed the Veterans Affairs Act, which essentially dissolves the Soldiers Relief Commission, the actual 3-person commission. The program is still in effect, and then it combines it and creates it into one formal office to do everything in one place and to help veterans get their VA benefits. So essentially, this is just, again, a housekeeping issue to make sure we're under that resolution so that we're protected if we ever need it in the future, where it could have been a problem 3 years ago. Unfortunately, it was not. So does anybody have any questions?
Thank you, Ian. Seeing none, we'll move on to the next item. Commissioner Hutchinson.
Yeah, number 2 is consider approving the professional engineering service agreement for the Isabella County Parks Chippewa River Erosion and Canoe Launch Project with Spicer Group Incorporated of Saginaw, and authorize the board chair to sign the same. I don't know if Sue Ann wants to talk about this. This is just the ongoing erosion problem that we have out there, and the company that they've decided to go with to
Yes, we put out a request for proposal for our engineers and or engineering services. We had 4 proposals turned in, but one was deemed not, wasn't complete. And then 3 of them is listed in my staff report, did meet all the requirements. I am recommending that we go with Spicer Group. Based on my review of the proposals, Spicer has an extensive experience in erosion along lake and river banks, more so than Kibbe. I know Road has a lot of experience. They were quite a bit more expensive, but I know that we will be in good hands going with Spicer. And in our committee, it was brought up about if we had to go with the lower bids, which in our procurement policy, we do not have to, but this company, I do believe, is in the procurement policy states it is in our best interest to go with them just based on their experience and our track record with them also in other county functions that we've done. So this is our attorney or legal counsel took a look at the agreement and put together kind of a nice little package, including what they wanted in the agreement, plus our request for proposal, and then the other noted exhibit. And we're confident that, we are ready to go. So our recommendation, or my recommendation, is if we can move ahead with Spicer for this project that we hope will be done this fall. That's the deadline for this project.
Hey, Sue Ann, what was it, just for everybody, what was the dollar amount?
Oh, sure. The dollar amount was $16,536. And did you want me to read all of the proposals?
No, I just wanted everybody to be aware we were at like 14,000 before, and with everything coming in, where we were at. So, Thank you.
I will note, Commissioner Hutchinson, the lesser amount, as noted in my report, did not include topographical surveys, but we do need them. The surveys that we have through the county GIS is in 4 feet or more. I don't know if you should say increments, but we need them to be at 2 feet. So we do need to have those done for the proper surveying of the erosion and based on what is required through the state when we do permitting.
Okay. Does anybody have any other questions?
Just a comment, Commissioner. Sue Ann, good job securing funding for this. This is a great idea, and it'll bring people to the county. It'll bring economic activity. I've floated from Majeski Landing to Chippewaters, all the way to Chippewaters last summer, and it is amazing. It's absolutely beautiful, the river that we have, and people don't realize quite how remote it is. I mean, I saw bald eagles and otters and herons, and it really is a fabulous trip. And the easier we can make it for people, the better. Thank you.
You bet.
Okay, and we'll move that forward to tonight.
Okay, thank you. Our next item is consider approving memorandum of agreement between Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Aging and Adult Service Agency and Isabella Commission on Aging for Senior Project Fresh, Margaret Fresh, and authorize the board chair to sign the same. Our Director of COA, Jen Crawford, could you explain this, please, with a real popular program that comes back each year? You're muted. You're muted.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Yes, yeah, this is a really great project to be a part of. We've been a part of it since 2009. So what this is basically, it is for us to be able to promote the local farmers and the farmers markets in our area, and also get the fresh produce in the hands of the older adults in our community. So by taking part in this program, those older adults who meet the income guidelines with the program would be provided with a $20 coupon booklet that they can then go shopping with at all of our local farmers markets. And to begin with, we're able to request 100 booklets. And if we go through all of those, if other agencies do not use theirs by the end of the year, then we might be able to receive some more to be able to pass out.
Anybody have any questions or comments on that of the commissioners? Okay, well, thank you, Jen. We'll go to the next item. That'll be on our agenda tonight, by the way.
Okay, number 4 is consider approving Regional 7 Area Agency on Aging purchase of service provider agreement, Amendum M, COVID-19 premium pay, in-home providers, and authorize the board chair to sign the same.
Yes, so this would be the third addendum that we have brought to the board this year. And this will be the last one because they have actually extended it now through the rest of the fiscal year, as opposed to doing just a month or 2 month chunks of time for this. So this is providing the temporary premium pay for our in-home workers. This is just for the waiver program though. So at this point we are serving one client under this program. So one of our employees would be eligible for this, but it would be a $2.28 per hour premium. And then they would also provide 28 cents to the county to help offset any cost that may go along with that. But it would just go to the salaries for that individual at this point. And this would be for personal care and respite care, and also homemaking services is what would be applicable for this funding.
Does anybody have any questions? This is for a new commissioner. There's so many different programs that are so amazing in this county, and hats off to everybody involved. And thanks, Jen. And like I say, this is it's amazing what the county does provide for people.
Thank you.
So if no other questions, we'll move that on to tonight.
Thank you, Jen, and thank you, Commissioner. Okay, our last item tonight this afternoon is consider adopting Isabella County Commissioners Resolution number 21-05-02, supporting passage of legislation to adopt 4-year terms for county commissioners and authorize the board chair to sign the same. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I mentioned this to the commissioners, and MAC is really involved in this. They sent me the template for this resolution. At this time, I think I'll read it for you, if you don't mind, and then entertain any questions or comments after that, okay? Okay, Isabella County Board of Commissioners, Resolution number 21-05-02, support passage of legislation to adopt 4-year terms for county commissioners. Whereas the 1963 Michigan Constitution stipulated 4-year terms for the County Board of Supervisors, the preceding body to today's Board of Commissioners, and whereas the legislature voted in 1966 to abolish boards of supervisors and formally replace them with Board of Commissioners after the 1968 elections, And whereas Public Act 261 of 1966 promulgated that length of terms for the new county commissioners shall be concurrent with that of state representatives as specified in our Article 4, Section 3 of the Michigan Constitution. And whereas the scope and duties of a county commissioner have greatly increased in the last century. Road patrols, indigent defense, mental health treatment, substance abuse prevention, programming, solid waste pickup and disposal, food and water supply, safety, park operations, economic development efforts, and emergency management responses. And whereas Michigan is one of the only 5 states in the United States that provides for exclusively 2-year terms for county commissioners, and whereas all other county and township elected officials in Michigan are elected to terms of at least 4 years, and whereas the position of the county commissioner is a highly complex oversight role that requires years to master, and whereas legislation to amend state law to enact 4-year terms has been filed in the form of Senate Bills 242 and 245, whereas the Michigan Association of Counties supports the legislation as introduced. Therefore, be it resolved that the Isabella County supports Senate Bills 242 and 245 to enact 4-year terms for county commissioners. Okay, they mentioned this at the MAC conference also. They asked the Speaker of the House, Wentworth, and Majority Leader Shirkey what they thought about this. They were generally supportive. And as you can see, all the other counties posts are 2-year. And it just would seem that given the duties that we have and the things that we have to do, it's really beneficial to get more time between elections so you can learn those skills and, like Commissioner Hitchinson said, learn about the programs that we are doing. So I'm opening it up right now for comments and questions. Mr. Chair.
Yes, real quick, Commissioner Moreno touched on the fact that right now this is being focused on the Senate. That seems to be one of the holdups is the Senate. So we're focusing on the Senate. Made a very good comment in regards to that in the meeting. Also, as a side, as he had mentioned, this is a template from Michigan Association of Counties, or MAC. And I encourage all the commissioners, especially Commissioner Hutchinson, I believe Commissioner Swaney, also, and all the other commissioners, make sure you have your MAC user IDs and passwords, and also your NACO, National Association of Counties, user IDs and passwords. If you don't, Margaret, I'm going to take a leap of faith here and say, I'm going to turn this to Jessica, but through you. They were very helpful in getting me re-signed up again, not re-signed up, but sometimes, as you know, sometimes the passwords and everything go away and those sort of things. And as we go forward in other issues, NACO is going to be I think a big help when we do our CARES Act funding, the 13 million, the 6.5 and 6.5. I think they're going to give some pretty good guidance out what we can, as commissioners, can have from topics of discussion. So I encourage, if you don't have the user ID and passwords for both those sites, please get them. And also, Commissioner Moreno, I don't want to overstep myself here, but with the MAC also too, commissioners, there is also a template or a form email wise you can send if you want to do that too in regards to this, besides the resolution. So just keep that in mind too. So again, I encourage all uses of this. I think it's a very good form, and we'll go from there. So sorry, but thank you very much, Commissioner Moreno.
Anybody else? Commissioner Engler?
Yeah, do you know if anybody's working on the House side to submit a bill, or is it just on the Senate so far?
Just in the Senate so far.
Okay.
And so far, last week anyway, 11 counties already had done this. And, if and when we adapt this, we will send it to Michigan Association of Counties to put that together with the other ones and put the pressure on. And actually, lots of state reps and senators had been county commissioners, so they're really familiar with this issue. If there's no other, Madam Administrator.
Margaret, you're muted. You're muted.
I just recently muted myself in the meeting, so I wasn't interrupting Jennifer. And I had to unmute myself, so thank you. If this passes through the Board of Commissioners tonight and everybody gets it signed as far as the clerk and the chairman in the next day or so, we'll take care of from the Administrator Controller's office, making sure this gets sent to MAC.
Great.
So we'll
Great.
follow up with that.
Thank
And
you
back
so
to
much.
another thing that Chairman Horton said, if any of you need to have help with a password into MAC or NACO, let me know and then I'll have Jessica take care of it, or you can just contact Jessica directly. The American Rescue Plan, I'm taking all of my information from NACO and MAC at this point because I know it's reliable, and they don't have a dog in the fight of hoping to get funded for anything. So that's what we're going to be following and waiting for the directions to come from the United States Department of Treasury. So it's very encouraging, very encouraging. Thank you, Commissioner Marino.
Okay, that will be on tonight, and that concludes the work of the Human Resources and Public Works Committee.
Thank you, gentlemen. Next up, Intergovernmental Affairs. We have no action. Under Administrative Controller, no actions. Brings us to item number 8, unfinished business. We have nothing under unfinished business. Item 9, with nothing under new business, which brings us to general public comments. Nicole, is there anybody on the line right now?
There is no one on the line at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, I will wait just a few more moments and then we will move on to announcements. Okay, I'm going to close general public comments and move to announcements. Commissioners, any announcements? Anybody? Okay, well, that's 42 minutes into this. So if I see none, hearing none, at 4:42 at the call of the chair, I will adjourn the meeting at 4:42 and I will see everybody back at 7.
So long,
Thank you.
everybody. Have a good night.
Thank you very much.
See you later.
Everyone, see you later.
Yep.